It's okay to talk about the future. It's not a bad thing. Speak your future into existence. Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Myra. As some of you may know, I've been married for a while now. I recently celebrated my 18th wedding anniversary. And you don't get to 18 years and beyond without a few hiccups, without a few ups and downs. And this video is about exactly that. What do you do when the hard times come? When perhaps illness strikes? And illness can strike any one of us at any time. What do you do? What do you do if perhaps you're now in the position of a caregiver? Now your partner is your patient. Or what do you do when you are struggling financially? You can't make ends meet. Perhaps you don't know where your next meal is going to come from. What do you do when infidelity is at your door? This video is about what you do when those things happen and how you can get through. First of all, I want to preface this talk by saying hard times are normal. They are absolutely normal, and it happens in every relationship. You might see a couple out there and they look like they are living it up, living large, just enjoying each other. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what secrets they have behind those closed doors. Hard times in relationships hits all of us, and it's normal. So if you're going through it, there is nothing the matter with you. I want to let you know that. So now, what do you do when those hard times come? Well, there's a few things you can do to see yourself through what it is you and your partner are going through, to see each other through it, to not get stuck at the particular junction that you're at, and hopefully get through it together. When hard times come in your relationship, and trust me, they will, and I don't say it with a smile, but I just say it knowing it will come, and it's okay. The first and absolute thing you must do is to remain calm. Now, I know you're probably saying, yeah, but you don't know what my situation is. You want me to stay calm in this? I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm fed up. I get it. But you have to remain calm. If any type of logic and rationale is going to come through, you have to remain calm. That is how you become clear-headed. That is how you can formulate clear decisions that are beneficial to you and your partner. If you go off, if you start acting out, all you're going to do is mess things up further. You're going to stress yourself. You're going to stress your partner, whether you care or not. You're going to stress the relationship, obviously, and things are not going to go in your favor. You have to remain calm. When you're calm, you make good decisions. You're rational, you're logical, and you can actually step back and see the big picture. So when hard times hit the relationship, number one thing you do is remain calm. Like I said, when you're calm, you become clear-headed. And it is at that moment that you can really sit down and think about what it is that you desire, that you want, that you hope for. When your mind is clear, you make space for ideas. Perhaps you start getting creative about solving the problem at hand. Clear-headedness is so important because you are at a place at the moment where you are so pent up with maybe rage, with hurt, with frustration, with perhaps fear, that all of those emotions are playing so hard in there. And you have to really work very, very hard to set aside those emotions, to make space for good thought. And it's very difficult because when hard times come in any relationship, we go with the emotion. We run with the emotion. I know when my husband was diagnosed, it was fear. I remember constantly having a knot in my throat, having, butterflies all the time, not knowing what was going to happen. I didn't know if he was going to live or die. And at some point, I realized that I couldn't live like this. First of all, it was taking its toll on me. I had four very small young children to look after. And I needed to be able to take time to just really think about things. And I needed to be able to think clearly. If he went one way, what are the things I need to do? If he went the other way, what are the things I needed to do? You need to be able to compartmentalize the emotions, set them aside, put them where they need to be so that you can make rational decisions. Once you are clear headed, you are now in the position to communicate. You can actually talk and express your feelings about whatever the situation is, perhaps with your partner or in therapy or wherever you want to express yourself. But it's very, very important that you communicate. And when you are communicating, I would encourage you to communicate with your partner. I mean, they are the person going through it with you. So they would probably understand more so than anybody else. As an aside, I don't encourage calling up girlfriends and telling them what's going on. We all know what happens. You might be having a hard time with your man. You guys make up and the girlfriends still are angry at the guy. So I personally don't encourage calling up girlfriends, mom, dad. I think you should just leave outsiders alone. But however you choose, communicate. Be able to speak about how you're feeling, what you're going through, and how you feel about the situation at hand. Because what you're going to find is your partner is probably having similar feelings and is afraid to express themselves. Don't be afraid to think, if I was to tell them how I felt, then I look weak. You are having a hard time right now. What other time do you get to be vulnerable? And vulnerable is not weak. To be vulnerable means that you're open. You're open to what may come. So you need to speak. You need to communicate. You need to perhaps advocate for yourself. Let your desires be known. Let your wishes be known. Communication is so key because without it, you have not expressed to the other what it is that you want. So they don't know. If you don't speak, then there is no room for correction. There's no room for proper and perhaps heartfelt apology if one is required because you have chosen to stay closed. So you really, really need to communicate. You really, really need to speak. You really need to speak about what it is you're going through, what it is you're feeling, how it's affecting you, and speak about what you hope to see. It's okay to talk about the future. It's not a bad thing. Speak your future into existence. Talk about what you hope to see. Because you're having a hard time now doesn't mean you'll be having a hard time tomorrow. So just talk and don't stop talking. Communicate. So important. I'm that person when I'm having a hard time, my digestive system shuts down. I just lose my appetite and I don't want to eat. And once again, I remember when we're going through the situation with my husband, I remember people always asking me, have you eaten? Have you eaten? And I guess they were starting to see the weight loss because I wasn't eating. I was barely sleeping. I was running around trying to find babysitters for my children, and I was up and down at hospitals. Which brings me to my next point, which is self-care. Even though you're going through something, or your partner is going through something, even though you guys are going through something together, it does not mean that you have to let yourself go. If you're having a hard time financially, it does not mean you have to be walking around in rags. Don't do it. Self-care is so important. The reason being, self-care is it's a boost. It helps you feel better about yourself. It gives you hope. You see yourself in a new light. So you need to be taking care of yourself. You need to perhaps still carry on with the routines that you have. Working out, you look good, clean hair, clean teeth, clean clothes, getting enough rest, getting proper nutrition. Perhaps you're meditating. You need to take care of yourself because all of that will help in you remaining calm, in you remaining clear-headed, in you being able to communicate. Self-care is so important. Do not deviate from it because you're going through something. And to take care of yourself doesn't mean you don't care about what's going on. It's just that you need to be at a certain place where you can see yourself in a certain space. That's it. You need to be at a certain place where you can see yourself in a certain space. So, self-care, super important. Do not deviate from that. Take care of yourself. If you both feel the problem is bigger than the two of you, for crying out loud, get some help. Seek some therapy. Get counseling. Get something. Don't try to resolve the issue on your own. You probably will make a mess of it. And don't let anybody tell you that, well, therapy didn't work for me, so who cares? Try everything you can. You are going through something. Perhaps the two of you are at an impasse. Maybe you need that third ear. Somebody who can perhaps help with the communication, help clear the message across to the other. So seek therapy if it is required. Don't try to solve the problem on your own if you can't. And finally, remember you're not alone. You have a partner who is going through whatever it is with you. It doesn't matter if you guys are going to end up together in the end or apart in the end. You are not going through this alone. And so your job is not to beat up on them while you're going through this. Your job is not to bring them down while you're going through a hard time. Your job is to get through this, whether together or separately, standing tall, upright, and feeling good. That's what your job is. So don't forget, you are not in this alone. Don't try to bear the weight of the situation on your shoulders. You have a partner who is right there, who should be taking half of the issue. So do not try to down each other while you're going through whatever it is. Just try to get through it. Be sane about it. Be calm about it. Try to be clear-headed about it. Communicate about it. If you need to seek outside help, get that. Well, there you go. I hope you like this video. If you have any other tidbits and advice as to how you get through the hard times when they come into a relationship, feel free to comment below. I would love to hear from you. And if you'd like to see my after 18 years of marriage, things I've learned, hit the eye. I think it's up here. I think the eye is up here. I don't know, like up here? Yeah, all right. If you like this video, tap that like button. While you're there, subscribe and hit notifications. And I will see you next time. Bye.